Good afternoon, friends. This is Tammy Glenn, also known as TG Rocks. Gonna have a YouTube page known as ATL Unleashed. I hope you all will subscribe. I'm going to talk today about something that's very sensitive to me. And all of this child abuse allegations with R. Kelly and the sexual allegations with Bill Cosby and a host of other people have just dug up some raw emotion along with some other things that were taking place in my personal life. I'm going to speak today in hopes that I reached a little girl that's going through similar things that I experienced and hasn't quite found her place or know how to stand up for herself. I'm also talking to the adults who don't believe that their actions have any, that their actions, if it were not participating in the sexual exploitation part, that if they didn't do that, then whatever they did or didn't do doesn't have an effect. And I'll explain that as I go. So that both parties will come away understanding and hopefully stronger from it, and definitely do something about it and change the course of this whole mess of things. So it is Tuesday, January 9th. A lot of people that are very close to me know what I'm about to say, or have heard me speak on it per se. Some in detail, many not. Years ago, when I was 13, I was sexually assaulted on numerous occasions by a family member that was married into the family. Let me also say that I've hesitated to say things because I don't want to hurt any of my family members. I don't want them to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's simply informational so that we don't continue in that manner, and that we talk about it. It's not taboo, and know what's going on, and let little girls and also little boys know that they have us as the adults to come to and to defend them. Okay, so I go back to my situation. When I was 13, right at puberty, I had a family member that was married into the family that used to do what we would call lewd and lascivious acts on a kid. These are my cousin's father. This is my aunt's husband. And while he was doing these things, it would be in this type of manner. I'm going to be real detailed so that you can understand the uncomfortableness of it. At night, he would come into the rooms. He would kiss his daughter, that's biologically his. My cousin that's not biologically his, maybe on the forehead and on the cheek. But when he get to me, you try to slip your tongue in my mouth, and then you take your hand and you slide it down my panties, and I try to pretend that I'm asleep, hard that I don't feel it. He's a grown man. He know I felt it. He knew I knew what he was doing, but I just wasn't. I was a child. I didn't know how. I was uncomfortable to defend myself or say anything. Sometimes he would offer me money. He'll say, iron my shirt for $5. If you would give me a kiss, I'll give you $10. And then of course, I've always been the little feisty one. Kiss your nasty ass. Are you crazy with a plunger? And that's what I said, literally. Then he'll chuckle it off and laugh, and then I go on about my business. But inside of me, I'm seething, I'm angry. So I began to be a little disrespectful, if that's the word, what other adults would see but I would be disrespectful to him. You know, Tammy, you gonna fry some chicken for me? Are you gonna fry chicken when we get back to the house? And just keep aggravating and talking to me, and I'm not saying anything. And then finally I say, yeah, I'm gonna fry some chicken. Hop your ass over in the pan with the hot grease. And that's me as a child because I'm angry. So it seems like I'm some disrespectful, smart mouth little girl. But this is what you're doing to me in the dark, and this is how I'm responding. Well, one morning, you get bold enough to come in the room, and not only are you take and pull my breast straight out of my shirt, scared me to death. And now I'm deathly afraid because you're getting real bold. Now I'm awoke. My eyes are open. It's not like I'm sleeping, pretending to be asleep and can't feel it, which is my pretend, right? My eyes are open. You did this right early in the morning. Aunt down the hallway, cousin in the room in the bed. And that's just super bold. So I'm afraid now that he's taking this thing this far. You know, the next thing you're going to do is try to penetrate me with some sex. So I tell my teacher, I go to school and I tell the counselor. Well, of course, the counselor gets in touch with my aunt. And when we get back to the house, it's an interrogation with the perpetrator. Not a talk amongst my family members for me to explain what was happening. But the perpetrator was put in front of me. And it was more of, Tammy, he said he didn't do it. Tammy, you know, tell me what happened. And then him in right there saying, Tammy, tell the truth. And I'm like, nigga, I did tell the truth. And I'm not going to change my language because that's how I was thinking and that's how I was feeling. And then I was so uncomfortable. You know, I try to, once again, go to sleep, just fall out, just make like I'm not here. Maybe if I close my eyes, this will all go away. This is a bad dream. I don't say anything because I'm shell shocked. If there's another word that I'm in front of him, I have told, and somehow I feel like I'm in the hot seat. Okay, so I was sent to stay with my grandmother, which is all fine, and she knew about it too. I guess it was told to her. I don't know in what manner or form or how she got it, but she knew about it because I was coming to her home. Now, skip up to teenage years. And this is when I was 13. So he didn't go to jail. He didn't get prosecuted. Nothing happened. I was just sent away. So for the rest of my life, after the age of 13, I never spent another summer at my aunt's house. That's the first hurtful thing. Hurtful because these are my cousins. This is my family. I don't really have another side of the family. I do because my mother remarried, but as far as my biological, and we'll get to that another day, but my biological wasn't in my life. And that to me is part of it too, to a certain degree, but he wasn't in my life, and for good reasons. But what happened made me feel alone. I did have my stepfather, who has never done anything like that, and really has always kind of tried to help me, whether it was money for college, he took out a loan for me, or, you know, to say something to me, to correct me, maybe not too often, because remember, I'm probably a little feisty, and not really receiving people telling me what to do too well. I wasn't out in the streets and bad, but I was a kid with some little emotional issues, you know, and so I wasn't always doing everything proper. I wasn't the kid that you had to go out and beat to death because I'm robbing neighbors and doing things, but I was a teenager in turmoil. I'll say that. And a good student, never had problems at school, just always searching to have something to love and something that would come to my defense and love me just as hard, if that makes sense. So it sends you into a host of bad relationships. You are looking for love, and a lot of times the people I dealt with were probably abused people themselves, emotionally abused. And then it's like a magnetic drawing towards just, I don't even know the word that I'm searching for right now. Just a whole pattern of dysfunction, maybe I want to say. Here's the deal for both people. This is how I felt. I felt abandoned. That I felt abandoned. That the proper defense wasn't taken for me. I also felt like an outsider. Maybe like a black sheep, if that's the word. And I felt uncomfortable all my life because he was always around. He was always around. He never apologized. He never admitted to it. I never talked about it. I just was kind of, if I wanted to see my cousins and my aunt, that person was there. And there's nothing I can do about it. It was always there. It was the pink elephant for me. Maybe not for my aunt. Maybe not so much as even for my mother or my cousins, because maybe they couldn't understand how I internalized everything. People want to say, when the Bill Cosby thing came out, why do people wait? It angers me, and I do be wanting to say, how dare you judge somebody? You don't know what it takes to reveal something that you feel like is dirty and taboo. And then from the time that my aunts and mother and grandmother, they're raising, they don't want to sully up the family name. And sometimes the female is, a lot of times, the female is blamed. Well, she was being fast. She was just being hot and grown. And here's what I'm going to say to that. Even if that person, that child, young man or young woman, is fast, and they call the boys mannish, and that's a sign of something. They missing something. And as an adult, you don't take advantage of that. As an adult, if the boy or the girl came out butt naked with bells and whistles, you walk away. You call truancy. You get somebody to get them some help. You don't indulge in no sexual activity with no child. That's crazy. And it's insane for an adult to assume that a growing 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, even 18 and 19 have the maturity to handle that. You are inexperienced in life, you searching for love, and you got a false idea of what it is. That wasn't my situation. I wasn't trying to love no family member. But R. Kelly was not these girls' family. And that's even more nasty. It's all nasty. Whether it's a family member or not, it's nasty. But the predatory manner is different. Maybe I want to say. With the family member, it's more sticky to look like you caring and you doing little things to show that you love the kids. Maybe you're trying to love the kids a little too damn much. R. Kelly is preying on vulnerable young girls that idolize him. And if you think in your little young mind, oh, he passed up all these millions of girls, my idol, and I'm some little chick from nowhere, and he saw me and he's a star. I can see them being caught up in that whole situation. And I don't know why any other adult can't see that. I know that nobody was born an adult. So we all should know what it feels like to be a kid and to know how we thought when we were kids and to know how right now at this day and age we wouldn't do half the stuff we did when we were younger if we had the maturity and the know-it-all that we do right now. So I'm going to say to the adults that are surrounding perpetrators, turn their heads in. Put them in jail. Because when that didn't happen for me, it made me not tell anything else. And things did happen to me. And I'm going to be real frank. I'm saying names and everything. Because somebody going to come out somewhere around here and say, oh man, I had a coach when I was in Woodland High School. They shut Woodland down. It's a middle school now. And they were transforming the schools to go into Tri-Cities. Woodland and I don't know what other schools comprised or came together to be Tri-Cities. But that was going to be my home school. And people from Atlanta know what I'm talking about who were born in my age group or around my time. So it was a coach called Coach Stokes. And Coach Stokes was known to be a little flirtatious with the girls. I had never had any run-ins with Coach Stokes but one time. And the girls' locker room was locked. I couldn't get in to get my clothes to change out of my gym clothes. So he came up behind me. Instead of letting me move out the way so he could unlock the door, he came up behind me, pressed his penis up against my butt to open the door. Now, he didn't grope me or touch me, but that is inappropriate as hell. I was a student. I think I was 15. It made me very uncomfortable, and I never said a word. I never told my mom. I never said anything to anybody until, later on in life when I discuss these things, I bring them out. I went on to get a job at Long John Silver's. This was on what was formerly known as Gordon Street. And now it's Ralph David Abernathy, Cascade area. But it wasn't on that side yet. It was still called Gordon Street. So anyway, I worked at the Long John Silver's. The manager was a man named Larry. I'm standing up on I don't know if you guys ever worked in a restaurant, but in the back of the restaurant they had a shelf made out of metal. And whatever I needed to get was on the top of the shelf. So I actually had stepped up on one of the shelves trying to climb up to reach it. He came up behind me, pressed his body up against mine. Again, I'm very uncomfortable. I don't turn around, slap, or do none of that. I'm 17. And he reaches up to grab whatever I was getting. And another manager saw him and got into his behind. And I appreciated her for doing that. And I was relieved that she saw it because I didn't think anybody would believe me. I didn't even tell my mother. Still to the day. I told her recently, but I didn't tell her at the time because I assumed that I would be the one that would have to leave my job instead of him. So I just keep it to myself because it trains you when nothing happens to these people. It trains you to keep it to yourself. Or when you hear people blaming the victim, you just kindly just sit by and let these things take place, which is more hurtful than you can ever imagine. Yeah, it does create some emotional dysfunction, anger. And when you have people who have been abused in their childhood, just remember they grow up to be adults. Adults that you have to deal with. And even though my situation was sexual, you got people who are victim of child abuse from beating, the way you talk to them. It could be emotional, physical. It's just ridiculous. And if you grow up seeing abuse in your family, more than likely you might have some abusive ways. And I'm not speaking of pedophilia. I have a different take on that. I don't know. That's a sickness. Because even though somebody disrespected me in the greatest of ways and violated me, I have never passed that on to a kid. And as a matter of fact, I'm an advocate of hurting somebody if they do something to a kid. I mean, I'm on the other end. You know, I could actually take somebody's life for doing something to a kid that can't defend themselves. That's my job. And it's my job because I felt failed. I felt failed by adults that were around me. So there's no way on this earth that I can pass that on to another kid. So I always make sure I have these conversations with my nieces. I tell them, even though everybody looks at me as so extra tiny, I might be small, but I'm a stick of dynamite. You don't have to be big. You can tell me anything. You don't never have to be ashamed, embarrassed, and it ain't never your fault for somebody to victimize you. And that's what you have to know. And for these kids out here, if you're crying out to your parents and adults around you and they're ignoring you, call the police. Call the police. Find somebody, a teacher, somebody you can trust. If nobody's listening to you, I'm listening to you because I know what that's like. And you tell it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid, because it's not your fault for some grown-ass person to be taking advantage of you. It's not your fault. You're not going to be looked at as you should have known better. I'm not going to put that on a kid, no young adult. I've been there. And for adults to sit back and do that is the very reason why people come out when they 40 and damn 50. Now you got to answer. So don't say that shit no more. Ever again. It doesn't matter when. If that's when they had their moment to speak their truth, then that's when they had it. If that's when they gained their confidence to talk about it, that's when they gained it. It's not for you to question. And if you want to question something, question why the hell you didn't do nothing. Question why you saw things and you let it go. Question yourself. Question your morals and your values. Question the pressure you put on somebody young to have the same maturity that your grown 50-year-old, 45, 30, you didn't have more experience in life than they have, and you question their judgment. They're kids. It's ridiculous. I'm saying this from my heart. And I make a lot of, I'm a silly person, and I like to laugh, and so I'm going to incorporate my page into funny things, pleasant things in life. Reality is nothing like these reality shows. And I heard Master P say something about this being a reality show and the parents going out trying to get publicity or money. Hell no. The parents have been trying to get their kids back. They are at their wits' end. And if this is the next step that I need to take to try to get my child back or to reach out to them, this is what I'm going to do. This is where I do agree with him, though. Don't fault the parents for whatever measure they take to try to get their kid back, because a lot of them have gone to the cops, but the kid is now of age where the parent doesn't have anything that they can do about it. If they're 18, they're still a kid, even though they're grown. They teenagers. You just fresh out your mom and them house. You don't know anything. You barely have had a job. You don't have no real experience out here. So come on. They're still kids. 18, 19, shit. 20, 21. I call them all kids. Hell, you 25, been in the military now. I might still refer to you as a kid. You're growing. You know, some may be mature than others and some may get there faster than others. But the point of the matter is, do you not know where your mind was when you were that young? Everybody ain't as strong or mature, and most of us mature along the same levels when we in a certain age range. 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 11 to 15. They still breaking us down in groups. 50 to 55. You can't even get Social Security till you're 67. We still broken down in groups. So when you get stupid about it, it pisses me off. And it hurts because I know what that feels like. And if you have never been a victim, how in the world do you even open your mouth to say anything? Listen to the victim. You don't know what these people holding in their body. Some wonder people might be out here doing things, harming themselves or other people because they haven't talked, or they scared to talk, or they feel some way about expressing themselves. Just cut it out already. Now, Master P, true enough, if my kid was underage, I'd be out there with guns and I lose my mind too. Any concerning parent wants to break the neck of somebody that hurts or harms their kid. True enough, most of us. I want to believe most of us, but I can't tell by these court cases and the sale of R. Kelly's music, and even the support of Bill Cosby that he had. Everybody want to railroad you because you black. No. I'm pro-black man all the way, but I ain't pro-child molester. I don't care what color you are. Hell no. And so to say that these parents were wrong and they looking for publicity is trifling. I think they are at their wits' end of what they can do. Master P is of a different income level. You have a different you can surround yourself with people that may have more power to do things than people with limited funds. He ain't grabbing rich kids. He grabbing little poor kids that are mesmerized by his lifestyle. You see? So it's a difference. And then to say that this is what you would done. Well, these people probably have other kids. They have homes that they have to take care of. They have jobs. Don't discount that they still got to live while I'm trying to grab my daughter back. I still got to take care of my business out here in this world while I'm trying to get my daughter back. And I'm trying to get into her head because I want her to know that she does not have to endure any of this. We're not judging her. We just want her home. And if y'all can't understand that, something wrong with you too. Something wrong with you. Now, this is a message to be, I want you, my audience, whoever views this video, to come away with a couple of things. We as the adult are here to protect the kids. That's our job. Who else are they going to look to if they can't look to us? Now, it's a very serious thing to accuse somebody of pedophilia, sexual abuse. So when you're telling someone this, make sure that it is the absolute truth. Because you don't want people to be, you don't want to cry wolf. And then when something really happens, no one's there to rescue you. I always tell the truth. But when somebody comes to you as an adult and tell you the truth, it's your responsibility to stick by that kid. If you choose to stick by the person that is the perpetrator, then you are no better than they are. You are enabling them to continue on to hurt other kids, because that's a disease. When you have a attraction for children, that's a disease. And you shouldn't want to be nowhere around that. And so while I don't want my family to feel bad and hurt and I don't want them to feel ashamed. I want them to come to an understanding. And let me always say this. I do want pedophiles to go to jail and I could tell you a whole lot of stuff I could do to them jokers. Castrate them, stick their joints up their butt. A whole lot of things I would want to do to somebody sick like that, just so they can just feel the pain of the disgusting crap that they have caused somebody that will have to tote that around for the rest of their natural life. It's trifling. But what I will say to the family members who don't believe that their actions are harmful if they weren't part of the deal of the perpetrator's act, they weren't participating in the actual activity. It's a very hurtful thing to a child to be dismissed. It's very hurtful. And if somebody is around that you know that has harmed a child, it's your duty to turn their ass in. Turn them in. And make sure that any kid around you is comfortable enough to let you know if something happens to them. This is serious. This man R. Kelly been passing out herpes to people. You know, ain't no telling what other type of STD he may have and can pass on if you're out here like that. That's endangering people's lives. It's just too much. Andrea, I believe you. Being around him and him doing this stuff to other people wouldn't make me believe that he didn't do it to you. And you were 19 when you got with him, so I can see that. But you going around playing his music, it's like you need to go get you some psychological help. Unless you call yourself saying, I'm taking that music that you were enjoying and I'm trying to figure out the psych in this, that you made and you were living the time of your life while I was hurting, and I'm taking it back. Now I'm happy people, because that's what you were saying, happy people and all that stuff. But it looks a little weird and it looks a little crazy on your side. It doesn't matter that he's a musical genius. He hurt you. He hurt other people. People saying mute R. Kelly. Hashtag mute R. Kelly. And you playing him in the background after you've been on all this stuff, crying and all of this. I believe he did those things to you. But you make yourself look foolish when you do stuff like that. And then you always got the naysayers who don't want to believe you anyway and take that as you looking, it's a publicity stunt and you looking for money. I don't believe that. I believe you need to go get you some counseling. And you need to cut that out. My mom told me I might need counseling. So I want to say this about the counseling. If you need it, go get it. What I need is just an apology and some acknowledgement and that I didn't handle it right. That's all I wanted to hear. Tammy, I'm sorry that happened to you. I didn't handle it right. And I wish I could take it back. And that's it. Or I wish I had did something different. I'm not looking for anybody. I don't think I need counseling. You'll let me know if I'm crazy or not. Because I'm like, I'm crazy. Well, I've been called crazy, but for other purposes, you know. But not for nothing like this. I think I'm perfectly fine. I think the problem was I was emotionally scarred from it. And now by talking about it and bringing it out, I released a whole lot of that. I'm not even dropping tears anymore. I used to cry when I have these conversations because it hurt. And I'm not going to say I won't ever cry again. But I know I've progressed because I'm telling this to the world and I haven't dropped a tear. But I'm going to say to you, child molesters, if you know you sick, you better get yourself some help because somebody going to kill one of y'all and playing with their kids or the kid themselves kill you for harming them. That's ridiculous. And as far as, again, I got something for you people who want to take up for the perpetrator. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. So listen at this and then I'm going to let this go. And then I'm going to tell you when I have my page ready so you can come on and check me out. Next time I'll try to be a little cuter. Today I'm going to the gym. And this is what's reality because this is how I look. No makeup, no nothing. I got this on, keep my hair from sweating, keep my beady bees from bucking up and all that stuff because I got my natural going on now. You know, this is me. This is reality and this is the truth. I hope you guys heard me. I hope you feel me. I hope you follow me on my page. I'll be back to let you know more. I hope my family knows that I love them and that this is my truth. I'm not speaking it to bring no sadness or no hurt to anyone. I'm speaking up because it's some girl out there that felt just like me. It's some woman out there that cries just like I have, you know, for some years. Because this happened when I was 13. And this just hit the head. Last year? Last year, 2018. So that's how you can tote hurt. Tote it. Or try to tuck it back. but it doesn't go anywhere. It's sitting there, it's waiting, and then mine just popped out now. So for y'all to say, it must didn't happen, or she wanted it, why they speaking now? They looking for money or fame. This is what I say to y'all. Listen closely, and then I'm gonna close out.